Yemen's Houthis have claimed without evidence that they targeted US aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman and its warships with ballistic missiles and drones. Now, in response to the American airstrikes which were carried out yesterday. In a televised address, the group's military spokesperson, Yahya Sarriah, warned that it would continue attacks on Israeli ships in the Red Sea if Israel continues to block aid into Gaza.
The armed forces, with the help of God Almighty, carried out a qualitative military operation targeting the American aircraft carrier USS Harry Truman and its accompanying warships in the northern Red Sea, using 18 ballistic and cruise missiles and drones in a joint operation carried out by the Missile Force, Drone Air Force and the Naval Forces.
In a televised address, Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi warned that the group would continue to target American warships, aircraft carriers and naval assets in the Red Sea.
The Yemeni armed forces will not hesitate to target all American warships in the Red Sea and in the Arabian Sea in retaliation to the aggression against our country.
Meanwhile, U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has said that the American airstrikes targeted multiple Houthi leaders and took them out. In an interview to ABC, Waltz said that the current strikes were different than those carried out under the Biden administration.
The difference is these were not kind of pinprick, back and forth, what ultimately proved to be feckless attacks. This was an overwhelming response that actually targeted multiple Houthi leaders and took them out. And the difference here is, one, going after the Houthi leadership, and two, holding Iran responsible.
In a telephone call with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov urged the U.S. to halt strikes in Yemen and instead engage in political dialogue to find a solution. The American airstrikes killed at least 31 people so far. Meanwhile, the impasse over the next phase of the ceasefire in Gaza, well, that continues. According to a statement by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's office, an Israeli negotiating team is discussing the hostages issue with Egyptian mediators. The comments come a day after Israeli strikes in northern Gaza, which killed at least 14 Palestinians over the past 24 hours. Adding to internal political turmoil, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has announced that he will seek to dismiss Ronen Bar, who is the head of Israel's internal security service Shin Bet. In a statement, Netanyahu said that ongoing distrust made it impossible for him to continue working with Bar.
Citizens of Israel, we are in the midst of a war for our very existence, a war on 7 fronts. At all times, but especially in an existential war like this, the Prime Minister must have full confidence in the head of the Shin Bet Domestic Security Service. But unfortunately, the reality is the opposite. I do not have such trust. I have an ongoing lack of trust in the head of the Shin Bet Security Service, a distrust that has only grown over time.
The Shin Bet had recently issued a report accepting responsibility for its failures around the October 7th attack in 2023 and had also criticized Netanyahu, saying government policies were among its causes.